Hello, everyone, and welcome to another observation of life. And on this 2025, we are starting off with, because it's a new season. So, and unfortunately, I had to delete the podcast from the last season and everything because of technical difficulties and a lot of complicated situations. So again, I'm starting over, and this is not strange because I've started over many times. These energies are blocking, and of course, we sometimes are self-sabotaging. So whatever it was, it doesn't matter. I thank it, and I've learned a lot, and my technological skills are just advancing more. So I'm grateful for all the experience, even the negative ones. And I would like to encourage you to view your life and the experiences happening the same. We don't have to be or take everything so serious. So again, in this podcast, we are going to just this observation of life is seeing all of these spiritual connected topics and then unraveling them in this beautiful, natural state, and just whatever comes through. And I work with my intuition when I'm making these videos, and so I'm always connecting to my higher self and, of course, to the viewers. As I started all of my recordings on YouTube, and thankfully, YouTube and all my videos there are still functioning. So if you're new here and you're hearing this podcast, you can always check the first season or the pilot of this lovely observation of life in YouTube. But again, I will start again this podcast. And if you're new here the first time and you don't want to check out the previous season, that's okay. I thank you all for being here. And for you that are following here from YouTube, I'd like to thank you all for being here in this journey. And I'm always connecting you to all of you that are viewing this, because we're in this together. So our energies are intertwined, and there's something that we have in common. So it's just an honor. And my channel is called Dimensions of Love. So any dimensions that we can connect to, anything that is here and brought to us in the name of love, I fully welcome it. So thank you. And if you pick up any sounds from the background, I have my kids at home, and they are, sometimes you can control kids. If they want to speak, they'll speak. But I'm hoping that I will have this enough time so that I can do this podcast for you guys. And so we spoke of at the end of 2024 that I was supposed to do it in Akashic Records, but I was more intuitively drawn to do a summary, kind of like an ending of the year. And that felt right to do in that time. But of course, I always honor my words. So on this topic, we are exploring the Akashic Record. So the journey into the collective consciousness. That is what we will be speaking of. And so I also want to say, we can write books on every topic that we will have on a lovely observation of life. And so my my view of this is that when we can simplify and just keep it short and sweet in that sense, where we understand something without diving deeply into it, because everyone doesn't want to dive deep in everything, which is sometimes one the overview of what is going on, especially when the information of today's society, especially here in the Western world, where we are not connected in that way to that information that is, it's kind of being almost hidden here. So when you're going through an awakening of any sort, it feels like you're bombarded with information. So it tends to be overwhelming. And I can say this from my own experience, and where spirit has and my soul has decided to be. So I'm in Sweden. So this is where I ended. I started in Bosnia and then in Macedonia. And then I'm here in Sweden. So there are no coincidences. We are in a place where we're supposed to be and have that energy and learn those lessons in that particular place and elevate others and yourself with what you have. So this is where my soul needed to be and what it needed to learn. And I also want you to acknowledge wherever you are, if you move countries or however your experience looks, remember that you are never in the wrong place. You're always at the right place for the lesson and the growth of your soul. So if you are from Europe or if you're hearing this and you're from the completely opposite part of the world, and so we over here are kind of closed off to this information, and then when we get access to it, it becomes overwhelming because then it's on the opposite side. It becomes too much information. So the point of all of these topics is I'm keeping it short and sweet and just understandable. And then if you enjoy what you're hearing and it's interesting to you and it's the first time that you're hearing, because spirit can connect us in different ways. So maybe, it's all about the frequency. Is it my voice? Maybe you like to learn by hearing my voice. Just as the same way, if you hear someone else and it just feels irritating, you can't listen to that voice, then that speaker is not meant for you. You cannot immerse yourself in that information and knowledge through that speaker, if that makes sense. So if you enjoy and feel like my voice is comforting, and you can hear the information, then I'm the speaker for you. If it's not, then never force yourself. Find the speaker that resonates with you. So short and sweet is how we are going to keep these topics, conversations, and please leave in the comments section. And if you have any requests on what you would like us to talk about, I'm open to listen. And I always go through my meditations and the informations that I get day by day. And then all of a sudden I put it together in the last minute, but it's not the last minute because it's things that has been happening in the mind in other dimensions. And I've kept collecting and meditating and got bits and pieces, and then I pull it all together. This is how I make every video that I do on YouTube. So the Akashic Records, okay, it's a concept rooted in ancient Eastern philosophy. It has intrigued spiritual seekers and metaphysical enthusiasts alike. This profound idea invites us to contemplate of the nature of existence and our interconnectedness within it. What is Akashic Records, really? So derived from the Sanskrit word kasha, meaning ether or spirit. The Akashic Records often envisioned as a vast metaphysical library or database. So this celestial archive is said to contain the complete records of every soul's journey throughout time. So encompassing all experience, thoughts, emotions, and intentions. It is an intricate tapestry that binds together every lived life and every decision made. The Akashic Records, it's a place where everything is stored and connected. And it's not just a library that you will say that is on different souls and just this unique experience. It's everyday people. It's everything. It includes even yourself and all of your past lives. So it's not just some are there that has achieved anything and they have, like the Hall of Fame, they have that, the Star of Fame, or however you call it. No, this is everything, because everything matters and everything has its place in the universe. So the Akashic Records serve as a spiritual compass, providing insights into our past, present, and potential futures. They remind us that we are not isolated beings. We are rather a part of a large interconnected web of existence. Accessing the wisdom within this universal library can lead to profound revelations and transformative experiences. If we see this library as we're walking into this beautiful place, as everything is connected. So if you are looking for something, all of that topic and everything that is connecting to that can provide as a support if you wish to access that and if you wish to elevate yourself. So that brings us to, how do we access the Akashic Records? To enter this dimension of knowledge, practices such as meditations, prayers, and intuitive guidance are essential. The key to unlocking the Akashic Records lies within the heart. And here is from my own experience that I derived this information. But first, I want to touch on the Book of Wisdom by Harry B. Joseph. I'm trying to pin a picture of the book if I can. That's why I love making videos, because you can do that. But for all of you that are listening, so the book is called The Book of Wisdom by Harry B. Joseph. And so what I want to touch on here is that I've experienced that when I want to enter or access Akashic Records, it hasn't helped if I was in the lower stages of my awakening. It happened more to when I opened my heart. So a heart activation that opens your heart completely, because it is like, it works like a key going through the gate. It's like if you can envision that there are guards guarding this Akashic Records, because this is an important place and this information is sacred. It's a database. It's something that is being highly guarded. And if you have your selfish desires or wants and needs, or where you're just coming from an egocentric place and your heart is not open, you can't access that. You can meditate for hours and be a great meditator and all of that. It will not help, because you have to activate it through the heart. And why I'm referring back to this book, because there's a very clear description. So if we see the human body, where the feet will symbolize our earthly existence. So the heel stands for hell. And you can see this visual and see this in the book. So heel, hell, okay? The soles of the feet, so the soul. So, and if we see the top of the head, then it's the head, so it's heaven. So it goes into this description in this way that represent that God is the mind, so that God's mind. So it's the higher realms, the higher chakras, and the lower. So it needs to be an activation throughout. And the most important thing of entering or accessing the Akashic record, it's being balanced and staying in the heart. And the heart is basically emotions. And that's why I always say on my channel, dimensions of love, excuse me, is how do you feel? How do you feel? I often say that on my channel. How do you feel? So, because feeling releases and opens up. So when we store feelings that we don't release, then we block our hearts. So it's all about opening your heart and allowing yourself to feel if you do want to access the Akashic records. And when you open and access the gates to these higher realities, you can do so more easily when it comes from a place of heart. And also that frequency and energy in that dimension allows you in, because they see that as you are entering, you have already unlocked the code. So it's like a code on everything. You need to have the code, and the code is literally your heart. And that is your key. You will enter with your heart. And so that is my own experience of entering the Akashic records, needing help of something that is similar to my situation, understanding my situation. You can also do a meditation on worlds where it is basically the same. But in that sense, it's more of your, excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather. But as they say, that if you are going through this meditation that is connecting to worlds, it is envisioning yourself and all dimensions and different versions of yourself, and then connecting to that version of yourself that knows all the knowledge, that has done everything that is required and needed in your reality, and to draw in that version and ask your higher self, basically, ask yourself in that dimension about your problem or issue, because that version of you has that information already available to them. That is also an alternative to enter the Akashic records, but it always goes from meditation and connecting to your higher self and always having pure attentions. So in conclusion, the Akashic records embodies our shared experience and the journey of our soul. They invite us to explore our inner landscape and connect with the richness of life's experiences. As we navigate our paths, let us remain mindful of our place within a greater collective consciousness. May you find the courage to explore your own Akashic experience and uncover the wisdom that lies within. And as always, I hope that this information finds you well and that you've enjoyed this podcast about the Akashic Records a little bit in shorter. And so I wish you all a wonderful day. Sending love your way. And I see you in our next lovely observation of life. Bye, everyone.